Kyrie Irving exposes the NBA. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Kyrie Irving has exposed the NBA for what it is. So a quick recap for those of you that do not know. Kyrie Irving has had a situation lately. He shared a book from Amazon. He didn't write this book himself, he just shared it. After Kyrie shared this book, the first person to criticize him was Joe Tsai. So the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, the owner of Alibaba, criticizes his own player for what seems like a nothing reason really. If you ask me, this criticism is probably the reason the book ended up getting a lot more publicity than it initially did. When Kyrie shared this book, maybe it was just going to get read by his fans, but then after he started getting a lot of criticism, I think that's when the book went viral and outside of Kyrie's audience to new audiences. That's when more people started wondering what is in this book. The bigger this fire became, the more eyeballs were on Kyrie and more people started adding tags to him and addressing him as things he's obviously not. They were using words they do not even know what the meaning of is. But, thankfully, Kyrie Irving did not stand down. My man kept his arms up, he was ready to fight. What eventually happened was companies like Nike started to unveil who they really are, they started to unveil whose side they are really on. Companies like the NBA started to reveal who they really are and whose side they're really on. The Brooklyn Nets, the NBA and everyone in the basketball world started to ask Kyrie to apologize. They even got LeBron James, the realest house ninja in the world. Actually, there is no such thing as a real house ninja. All these people came up together to stand against Kyrie Irving and forced him to apologize. Which he eventually did, obviously while putting up a good fight. A lot of people say the apology was not genuine. Of course it probably wasn't, but who cares? You already tried to humiliate the man and force him to apologize, which he did. So why should you care if it's genuine or not? But after the apology, this is when things started to look very, very weird if you ask me. The Brooklyn Nets said they weren't going to have Kyrie back in the team unless he followed the list of demands that they gave him, about 6 demands. The Brooklyn Nets expect Kyrie Irving to condemn the movie in question, secondly to donate $500,000 to the anti-hate group, thirdly sensitivity training, fourthly anti-Semitic training, fifthly physically meet with the ADL. There are so many demands which make absolutely no sense. The ADL actually refused to take Kyrie Irving's $500,000 donation because they believe he did not apologize from his heart. And yes, I do back my brother, he absolutely did not apologize from his heart, he apologized from his head. He is a basketball player after all and he'd still like to continue playing the game. One thing people do not understand is you can't force Kyrie Irving to change how he feels, or what he believes. You may force him to apologize, but you can't force him to change his heart. This is how he feels, this is the education he's gotten. You could try to re-educate him, but you can't teach someone that does not want to learn. The more these people try to change Kyrie Irving's heart, the more reason he has to stay the same. The more reason he has to find out what's really true, because how can you force someone to change how they think? They will start to question, why are you forcing them to change? And that won't be good for you, because in the end you only make them stronger in the belief you don't want them to constantly take. A lot of people have come out in support of Kyrie, from Floyd Money Mayweather, Shannon Sharp, Nick Cannon, and many more. All these people have the same message: Kyrie Irving is more or less being demonized for what he believes in. I mean, if you wanted to prove Kyrie Irving wrong, the worst way to do it would be to do what they are currently doing. The whole world can see that Kyrie is being treated wrongly, and this is the most unfortunate thing about it all. What's worse is that you have people like LeBron James, who should be speaking with him or for him, are instead throwing him under the bus. Up till this point, I genuinely do not understand why LeBron James just publicly came out and spoke against Kyrie Irving. He had every reason to keep his mouth quiet. There are many other basketball players who haven't said a thing about this whole situation, and I know LeBron James was asked about it, but he could have just brushed it aside and tried his best not to respond. I think the beauty of all this is the fact that Kyrie Irving is exposing the NBA as being a toothless organization that is controlled by people behind the scenes. The way life goes, one day we will have a situation where black people will be the victim, and when that situation comes, will the NBA behave in the same manner that it has behaved against Kyrie Irving? I do not think so. But that's okay, because we have this moment to reference, this moment to use when something similar happens against another community of people. Before I go too far, remember during the bubble when there was an incident in Milwaukee, Adam Silver came out and begged the players not to protest but wanted to play the game, and instead with t-shirts. What will a t-shirt do? He even had LeBron James come out and talk the Bucks into playing the game just so he could have a bubble ring. Whenever Dr. Umar would come out and talk about LeBron James being a sellout, I always wondered why he said that, but looking at this situation, I realize he may have had a point. Anyway, the way Adam Silver and the NBA have acted historically shows that Kyrie Irving does not warrant the treatment he's getting, but that's okay. Going forward, we expect this sort of treatment to be directed to anybody, any situation that hurts or harms any group of people regardless of who it is. Because if that is not the case, it means everything Kanye West, Kyrie Irving and all these people have been saying may actually be true. Because why else would you not act accordingly and evenly? Does it mean there's somebody behind the scenes who's running things and they're the ones calling the shots? In many ways, Kyrie Irving has exposed the NBA, and the NBA has set themselves up for failure going forward, because it will show how blatantly toothless they are the next time a situation occurs that is like this. I don't know what your thoughts are on the issue. Please do comment down below, and peace.